Poker players, well, like most people, often make New Year's resolutions. Although poker players, well, theirs usually pertain to their bankrolls, tournament goals, and amount of playing time. 6 days into 2013, and many players were already putting those aspirations into action. What better way to start 2013 than with a six-figure win and a Sunday Million title, and these 9 players are in position to do just that. Smasher X67, our chip leader from Canada, with 27.6 million chips. Welcome to the Sunday Million Highlight Show. I'm David Tuckman. Blinds are relatively small at hand 3 of the final table. Blinds are 100,000, 200,000. And in a tournament that has become synonymous with January, the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure kicked off the year. Many players playing this tournament from the Atlantis Resort lobby. Get a raise here from Dolly's. With King Queen, he makes it 400,000, 2x. I can't think of a better way to win 6 figures and to win your first Sunday Million title than to do it in the Bahamas. Pure Cash is going to 3-bet with Jack 8. Got an interesting story about Pure Cash. I got a tweet from Jason Kuhn, professional poker player, about him. Smasher X is going to 4-bet. So we got a raise, a 3-bet, and a 4-bet. Nobody's hand is that strong. Very aggressive play from the chip leader, putting pressure on those medium stacks. Dolly's gets out of the way. You imagine Pure Cash will fold this as well, and he does. And Smasher X is going to add to his chip lead, now up to nearly 30 million chips. So last night, I'm going through my Twitter feed, and I noticed that Jason Kuhn, who was absolutely crushing it at the PCA, tweets that one of his good friends and original teacher is at the Sunday Million final table. Of course, I tweet him, and I ask him who. And he goes, Pure Cash 25. Pure Cash 25, one of the best heads-up sit-and-go players ever. And Jason Kuhn's original teacher. He's also won the nightly 100 grand. So keep an eye on him. He's at 7.2 million chips. Blas 6, not going to play. He's cashed for over 40K on Stars. The German Mitzpuk raised in first position under the gun with 9s. And it's folded around to the blinds. Fortuna gets out of the way. But our chip leader with over 32 million chips has woken up with kings. And he is going to 3-bet. And as aggressive as this player has played, you wonder what Mitz is going to do. Mitzpuk makes the call. Pot 2.68 million. Flop is 7 high with 2 hearts. Mitzpuk with a lot to lose here. Started this hand second in chips. And we go through this pay discrepancy all the time. 9th place pays $11,800. Second place pays $167,000. So just by staying out of the fray, Mitzpuk can pick up a lot of money. But he's gotten himself involved in this one. And now the only question is, can he hit a 9 or can he get away from it? Smasher X bets $3 million. This is pretty much it for Mitzpuk. Does he want to go with it? No, he folds. Wow, nice laydown by Mitzpuk. The German still with 7 million chips. Smasher X, by the way, now up to over 35 million chips. And to put that in perspective, the rest of the table, the entire rest of the table, has approximately 40 million chips. Smasher X, with 9 players remaining, has nearly 50% of the chips in play. Pure Cash in the cutoff with Jack 10. And you can see that all the players are kind of handcuffed because of Smasher X. When you have a player that is aggressive and has a ton of chips and knows what to do with those chips, it really makes it tough for the players in the field. They're much less apt to steal the blinds, especially when that player is in the blinds. Smasher X raises. Mitzpuk just calls, trapping with the queens clearly. Smasher X with only 10 high. Expect the C bet here. There it is, 600,000. Mitch Puke with the raise to 1.6 million. Mitch Puke not deep enough, though, and Smasher X is going to get away from that one fairly easy. Mitch Puke back up to 8.45 million. Once again, second in chips. Picking up some hands, though. We saw him with 9s, we saw him with queens, and now he's got 10s. Now, obviously, you are going to raise in the field when you have a hand. At that point, you don't really care. You actually want Smasher X to make a move on you. Now, I could be wrong, but my guess is that Pure Cash would normally have raised with Jack 10 in the cutoff seat if the players in the blinds weren't as aggressive, didn't know how to use a big stack. But the last thing you want to do is put out a raise with Jack 10, get 3-bet by Smasher X, and have to fold. Or put your tournament life on the line by 4-betting all in. Why not wait till Smasher X eliminates a couple of more players before making that move? Mitch Puke's going to raise. Blinds right now are 125, 250. Dollies makes the call. And we'll see King Queen against 10s. Pot 1.5 million chips. And Mitch Puke has flopped top full house. Dollies S virtually drawing dead, needs running cards. But if a jack were to fall off, Dollies could get himself in trouble, or possibly herself in trouble. 7 of diamonds. Dollies has picked up a flush draw that obviously we can see is no good. Action on Dollies S. And I think the instinct is to bet this, and I think it's a mistake. I think you've got to realize that when Mitch Puke raises pre-flop and gets called out of the blind and checks this back, this flop, I should say, Mitch Puke has showdown value. He's got a hand, and I don't think the 7 of diamonds is going to change anything where he's suddenly just going to fold to 1 bet. And I'm certainly not bluffing at it here. Nothing has changed. The deuce of spades is not going to get my opponent to fold. But that's not going to stop Dollies S from betting 777,000. And obviously we can see it's never going to work. But you've got to realize that when your opponent raises pre-flop and you check it to him and he checks it back, unless he's an extremely passive player, he usually has showdown value. And obviously we can see that Mitch Puke has way more than showdown value. Did he just call? One of the stranger things I've ever seen. I mean, I guess you don't have the complete nuts. 8-6 of diamonds or Jack 8 of diamonds beats you with a straight flush. But I have to imagine that that was a misclick, or it just doesn't make much sense. Maybe he was trying to decide how much to raise and timed out and ended up just calling in a panic. I don't know exactly what happened there. Nonetheless, though, even if Mitch Puke does raise, we saw that obviously Dollies was not going to make the call with king high. This time Dollies picks up jacks and is going to raise. Once again, 2x. Should fold around to the blinds. It does. Smasher X, our chip leader, still dominating chip lead. Gets rid of his deuce 6. Mitch Puke with deuces. Herc with 8s. And you expect Herc to at least call this and possibly shove all in. He's only got about 10 big blinds behind. And there's the shove with the 8s. I can't imagine Dollies folding. Nope, there's the call. Jacks against 8s. And Herc is at risk and about a 4-1 dog. Still a 4-1 dog. From Latvia, Herc needs help. He needs an 8 and only an 8 on the river. That, my friends, is not an 8. And Herc from Latvia, gone in 9th place, takes home $11,800. Now, as players fall, you expect the other players to gamble more. It's one of those situations that I always find it really interesting when one player has a ton of chips. It's almost as if the other players at the table are waiting for players to fall out, waiting for the big stack to knock out players so they can climb the pay ladder before they start gambling. Champ is going to raise with the ace-king. And you can kind of see the writing on the wall here. Fortuna Vine, maybe a shove here with eights. I'm assuming you're either shoving or you're folding. I'm going to give Fortuna Vine the benefit of the doubt and assume that he has a history with Champ 4-5-8 and knows that Champ must have a pretty strong hand to raise under the gun. At least that must be his assumption. Smasher X doesn't care about that, and he's going to 3-bet with nines. And you imagine that Champ 4-5-8 will shove all in with the ace-king, and we'll see ace-king against nines. Champ 4-5-8 at risk. Always nerve-wracking when it's for your tournament life. Champ shoves. And for players like Surprise Firm, Blah 6, Fortune Vine, this is enormous. Champ had over 6 million chips. And the flop has a 9 in it. Smasher X has flopped the set. Champ 4-5-8 with top pair, but is now drawing dead. And Champ 4-5-8 has gone in 8th place from Lebanon, takes home $17,509. And this is huge. This is exactly what you want if you're Surprise Firm, Blah 6, Fortune Vine. You get to climb the pay ladder. Now, if you want to climb the pay ladder, you can do it for free. That's right. We offer that opportunity. But you need the password to get in the tournament, and that's coming later.
He's playing poker!
I've been wandering around this place like a gypsy gnome.
Drop us all in!
Yes!
We are competition everywhere. We are poker.
We are poker indeed. Welcome back to the Sunday Million Highlight Show. 7 players remain. 2 Canadians and 1 dominating it, smashing the table, so to speak. Smasher X with 45 million chips. More than half the chips in play are in Smasher's stack. Line still 125,000, 250,000. Smasher X raises. Maybe see a 3-bet here from Mitch Puke. You might see a 4-bet shove. No, Mitch Puke is going to shove for $9.9 million. Surprise Firm, all in as well with the ace-king. It's going to be about 9 million chips back to Smasher X. Does he make the call? I got to imagine he does. He does make the call. Now, interestingly enough, if Surprise Firm had 9 million chips and Mitch Puke only had 2 million, then maybe you fold to a 4-bet shove by a bigger stack. But in this particular instance, I think since the bigger stack actually shoved first, you can make the call with the 10s. And how about flopping top set? Smasher X looking like he is going to eliminate 2 players. And he is going to do that. Mitch Puke, Surprise Firm, drawing dead. Surprise Firm will come in 7th place because he started the hand with less chips. Mitch Puke in 6th place. Surprise Firm from the Russian Federation takes home $30,000. Mitch Puke from Germany takes home $45,000. And we are down to just 5. Smasher X with 57 million chips in play. Fortune Vina, all in with Ace-Jack. Blah making the call. Blah has him covered, barely. But flops top pair. Queen 10-9. Fortune Vina open-ended. An ace would give him the win as well. Five of clubs isn't going to do anything except eliminate him. Fortune Vine from Romania, gone in 5th place. He'll earn himself just under $61,000. 4 players remain. Pure Cash, Blah 666, Dolly's X, and Smasher X. Blinds now 150,000, 300,000. Smasher X raises. I mean, you're getting about 3.5 to 1 on this call. The problem is it's against a chip leader who doesn't necessarily need a hand. Blah 6, open-ended here. Percentages don't mean much right now, obviously, with Smasher X only with Jack high. Whoever's aggressive in this hand should win it, although Blah 6, open-ended with backdoor clubs. You imagine he'll play this hand aggressively. Now, the thing I love about hands like 9-7, those gap-suited connectors, are when you hit them, a lot of times your opponents don't see it. But in those situations, you actually want your opponent to have a hand. The problem in this case is that Smasher X is raising from the small blind probably with 100% of his range. And Smasher X overbets the pot. And he's going to win it. And that's the problem with playing 9-7. Smasher X puts pressure on Blah 6. And Blah 6 plays the hand a little bit passively. And has to fold 9-7. I mean, the interesting thing is with hands like 9-7, 5-4, those hands play so well when you're really, really deep stacked. But when you only have 20 big blinds, they can be very hard to play profitably. Pure Cash, limping in from the small blind. Smasher X not going to allow him. He effectively shoves all in. And does Pure Cash want to call off at the king high? He does. He figures his king high is ahead of Smasher X's range. Probably right. Once again, Pure Cash was Jason Koon's original teacher and one of the best heads-up sit-and-go players ever. Both players flop a king. Not enough for Pure Cash. He needs an 8. And that's not going to do it. The queen on the river and Smasher X, 2 pair, eliminates Pure Cash 25. In 4th place, the Canadian earns himself just under $77,000. 3 players remain. Hand 46. We have just sped along here. This might go down as one of the most dominating Sunday Million final table performances of all time. Smasher X has literally taken this table by the throat and choked the life out of it. Ace 7-3, Blah 6 with Ace Queen. By the way, Smasher X not involved with his hand on the button. Very, very surprising. But it's almost like he's intuitive here. Blah 6. Going to bet just under $500,000. Dolly's going to take a shot at it. He's going to raise min. Probably just calling this. If I'm going to play the hand like this, I'm probably just calling here. Very, very dry flop. I'm fairly certain I have the best hand with Ace Queen. But if I re-raise, I'm going to get most hands that are worse than mine to fold. And I don't want that. I'm obviously going to get bluffs to fold. I'm going to get pairs of 7s and 3s to fold. And if my opponent has an ace, well, it's probably going to go in anyway. I don't mind the small lead out, but I think when you lead out small there and you get raised, you've got to just call and kind of play the hand backwards if you want to get full value. Obviously very easy for me to say from this seat. Dollies, Shoves all in from the button with King Queen. Smasher X makes the call. One of the only times Smasher X actually gets his chips in bad. Pot just under 10 million chips. Ace, 10, deuce. All spades out there. King, queen still in the lead, but Smasher X has a ton of outs. A queen or a spade will do it. 7 of diamonds, and Dolly's S wins the hand with just king, queen high. Nut, no pair. 7,613 players started this tournament. We are down to 3.
We are 10,000 people in Brazil, holding our breath. We are alone. Hunters. Hunted. We are committed. Blessed. Calm. We are all in. We are poker.
Welcome back to the Sunday Million. If this is what you were waiting for, here it is. The password is Deauville for the online poker show free roll. Get in on the action, and who knows, maybe I'll be talking about you next week. Hand 48, Smasher X with the majority of the chips, obviously, 57.7 million. We're going to jump ahead to hand 50. Not much has changed. Dolly's S still in second place, but barely over Blah 6. Blah 6 on the button with King 5. Expecting to open? No. Wow. King high on the button, and he decides not to open. Playing it very conservatively. By the way, no deal has been made, and there is a $53,000 pay difference between second and third place. 9-7 deuce. Ace high still in the lead, but as you can see, it's a coin flip right now. A queen, a 6, or a spade will give Smasher X the lead. Continuation bet from Dolly's. Smasher X makes the call. Four diamonds. Dolly's still with the best hand, has picked up a wheel draw. He's going to check it. Now over to Smasher X. You're expecting to bet this now. Queen high. Not much showdown value with queen high. He's going to try to take this one down, and it should work. Just from what we've seen. I know a lot of players that will call in this spot with the ace high, figuring it's the best hand. But, like I said, I didn't think Dolly's was going to make that call. Smasher X up over 59 million chips. Hand 52. Blind still 150,000, 300,000. It's amazing how some weeks we get up to the 600,000, 1.2 million mark, and some weeks the tournament ends at the 200,000, 400,000 mark. Blah 6 with King 6. King high, definitely an above average hand. He can definitely raise. And he does raise. Dolly's makes the call. He might even be able to profitably shove with King high. I'm not sure off the top of my head if King 6 is a good enough hand to shove when you're actually 23, 24 big blinds deep. Probably a little too deep to shove, to be honest. Nonetheless, Blah raises with King 6. Dolly's S makes the call and promptly flops trips. So a little bit surprised Blah did not put a continuation bet out there with King high. It goes check, check. Dolly's trying to set a trap. 3 on the turn. I don't think you're going to get any ace highs to fold. You're certainly not going to get a pair to fold. Maybe you get a bigger king to fold. Who knows? Blah puts the bet out there. Dolly's still just calls. And Blah hits his king. Now the 6 doesn't play. Blah checks over to Dolly's. I could see about well, there it is, 1.2 million. I thought he might bet more. But Blah's played this hand pretty passively. I imagine that Dolly's didn't think Blah had much. Bets 1.2 million, gets called, and is now up to 11.4 million chips. Blah down to 5.7 million. Jump ahead to hand 65. Blah is now down to 3.2 million chips. You might see him shove all in. There's the shove for about 11 big blinds. Dolly's is going to make this call. Actually re-raises all in. Smasher X folds. And we see a 7 million chip pot. Blah is at risk. Ace 7-4, 2 diamonds. And Dolly's is flop top pair. Well, another diamond in the turn. Blah now has outs, needs a diamond on the river. 8 of clubs, not going to help him. And Blah 666 from Ireland, gone in 3rd place. I mentioned earlier that he has cashed for over 40K before on Stars. Well, now, just in this one tournament, he has cashed for $114,000. Big notch on his poker belt. And we are heads up here. Dolly's S, Smasher X. About a 4-1 chip advantage for Smasher X. Ace, Ace, King. Smasher X with 2 pair. Who cares about this check to the razor stuff? He called, and then he leads out for $300,000. Dolly's makes the call. Dolly's drawing dead to an 8. Smasher X going to continue betting $300,000. Almost paralyzing his opponent, yet getting value. 5 of spades on the river. And Smasher X bets one more time. Probably a little bit more confident that he's got the best hand. At this point, Dolly's has got to have to realize it's either a fold or turn your hand into a bluff. And he does that. He turns his hand into a bluff. But Smasher X doesn't buy it, makes the call. And Smasher X up to 65 million chips. Dolly down to 11 million. Turning your hand into a bluff there, it's interesting. I don't hate it. Wow, look at this hand. Speaks for itself. I mean, all the chips are going in. Nothing they can do about it. Just a cooler. When your opponent has about a 6-1 chip advantage on you and your head's up and you've got ace, queen of clubs, you're happy to get it in. You're thrilled to get it all in. And sure enough, Dolly's S gets it in. Obviously, Smasher X going to make the call. This pot, 22 million chips. And if the aces hold up, that'll be it. Flop is Jack 9-8. Some hope for Dolly's. He's got a gut shot. Same gut shot. Needs a 10. One time. Not this time. 5 of spades on the river. And Dolly's S finishes in 2nd place from the Czech Republic. Takes home $167,000. But our champion takes home $228,000 and his first Sunday title, Smasher XX67. What a performance. We can blame Smasher for taking all the drama out of this final table. From Fort McMurray, Canada, the wire-to-wire chip leader. I don't think I've ever seen a more dominating performance at the final table. Smasher X had most of the chips early on, and used them extremely well right from the get-go. There was never a doubt who was going to win this tournament. What a great way to start 2013. As always, all the highlights here on PokerStars.tv. Until next time, I'm David Tuckman. Reach the stars.